So now what we are going to see is we are going to see rights of a bailee. Okay. What are rights of a bailee? Right to deliver the goods to any one of the joint bailers. So there can be two or three joint bailers who are giving goods to a particular bailee. So what bailee is supposed to do? Return the goods after so the work is performed to any one of the joint bailers. So this is right to the bailee. Now right to indemnity. What is indemnity? As I told, indemnity means make good the loss. To indemnify the loss. Bailey is entitled to be indemnified by the bailier for any loss arising due to defective title of goods. Now, as I told you, when there is a defective title on goods and bailier gives to Bailey the goods, okay, because of the defective title of goods, Bailey is incurring expenses. Bailey is incurring expenses because of defective title of goods. So, bailier is supposed to indemnify the loss to the Bailey, and Bailey is supposed to get those right to indemnity, get that indemnified by the bailier. So that's what I told. Duty of a bailier will be right of a Bailey. Duties of a bailier is what? Indemnify Bailey. Right of a Bailey is what? Right to indemnity. Right to indemnity. Hmm. Right to indemnity due to defective title in goods. But the Bailey acted in good faith. Bailey didn't know that the bailier title in goods were defective. Bailey can also claim necessary expenses incurred by him for the purpose of gratuitous bailment. When there is pre-termination of gratuitous bailment, as I told you, know, then the bailier can get back the goods, and Bailey, due to pre-termination, incurs expenses. For that also, Bailey can get indemnified. Next, right to claim compensation in case of faulty goods. If the bailier gives faulty goods to the bailee, bailier's duty is what? To make known facts or give known the facts that the good is faulty or is dangerous. If the bailier doesn't tell the known facts, bailee is at risk by using those goods. Then bailee can claim compensation. A bailee is entitled to receive compensation from the bailier on any loss caused to him due to failure of the bailier to disclose any facts in the goods known to him. If the bailier is for iron, the bailier will be liable to compensate even though he is not aware of the existence of such faults. I've told you know if it is gratuitous, he has to disclose only if he knows the fault. If it is non-gratuitous bailment, he has to disclose even when he doesn't know the fact. He has to compensate. Even if he does not disclose or doesn't know the facts, he has to still compensate. So this was this where we have learned this we have learned in duties of a bailier. Right to claim necessary expenses. See, in case of gratuitous bailment, the bailier shall repay the bailee necessary expenses incurred by him and any extraordinary expenses incurred by him for the purpose of bailment. This we have seen that when it is a gratuitous bailment, we can receive the necessary expenses for the purpose of the bailment. And if it is non-gratuitous bailment, we can receive only extraordinary expenses. In gratuitous bailment, we can receive both necessary and extraordinary expenses. Right to apply to the court to decide the title of the goods. When a bailee gets a goods which are not belonging to the bailier, or he is confused whether it belongs to the bailier or some other person, so bailee can go to the court to decide who is the original owner of the goods. So he can go a dealer in TV delivered a TV to B for using in summer vacation. Subsequently, C claimed that the TV belonged to him as it was delivered only for repairs to A, and thus B should deliver it to him. In this case, B may apply to the court to decide the question of ownership of TV so that he may deliver to the right owner. So, Bailey can go to the court for this purpose. Right of particular lien for payment of services. Now, when payment is due, Bailey has completed the job. Payment is due. Then what will happen? Bailor is not paying. Then what can Bailey do? Lien. He can lien the goods. That means he will not return the goods unless payment is not made. Particular lien. This is particular goods. Right of general lien is generally if he has to pay any other amount also, he can keep the goods. He can keep the goods for any other payment also. We will discuss general lien and particular lien in the next following pages. Rights of bailor and bailey against any wrongdoer. So both the bailor and bailey have the rights against wrongdoer, which is third party. If the third party is doing any wrong, they both can sue the third party and get the remedies. The remedies or compensation they get, they will be sharing it within themselves as per their respective interests. Termination of bailment. When is the bailment terminated? When the when the time is expired or fulfillment of the purpose. Like I told, when 1 month is expired, when I have given the goods to be kept in the locker, 1 month has expired means the bailment is terminated. I have taken back the goods, he has returned the goods, so bailment is terminated. On fulfillment of the purpose. Purpose is fulfilled, I given to the tailor for stitching and stitching is done, I have paid the money. Then on fulfillment of the purpose, the bailment is completed. By notice. I am giving the notice that the bailment is complete, where the bailee acts in a manner which is inconsistent with the terms of the bailment. Bailee is not acting in a right manner. Bailee is acting in inconsistent manner. The bailor can always terminate the contract. Then the bailor will terminate the contract by giving a notice to the bailee. A gratuitous bailment can be terminated by bailor at any time by giving a notice to the bailee. In a gratuitous bailment, the bailor can get back the goods at any time by giving a notice to the bailee. However, should termination should not cause any loss to the bailee in excess of the benefit derived. If there is a loss, then it is duty of the bailor to indemnify the loss and it's right of the bailee to get that loss indemnified. By death, a gratuitous bailment terminates upon the death of either bailor or the bailee. So by death also, gratuitous bailment terminates. Destruction of the subject matter. If the destruction of the subject matter which is bail itself is destroyed, then the bailment comes to an end. Or if there is change in nature of the goods which makes it impossible to use for the purpose of bailment, then the bailment has come to an end. Expiry of fixed period, fulfillment of the purpose. By death of bailor or bailee, inconsistent use of goods. By notice, the bailor can terminate by destruction or modification of the subject matter. Hmm. Finder of lost goods. Okay. A person who finds goods does not belong to him. He is called what? Finder of the goods, lost good. Okay. If someone has got some goods, किसी को कुछ goods मिल गए हैं जो किसी और के हैं, तो until the owner, जब तक ओनर मिल रहा है उसे उस गुड्स की देखभाल करनी पड़ेगी, सेफ कस्टडी करनी पड़ेगी, उसका खर्चा हुआ होगा. और ट्रू ओनर को ढूंढने के लिए देयर शुड बी हैव सम एक्सपेंसेस. तो when the true owner comes, now can the finder of the goods tell I have to make so much of expenses because of you and find you, so I am going to sue you? So he cannot say like that. He has no right to sue the owner for compensation or trouble caused by voluntary incurred by him in finding the owner and preserving the goods found. देखो, उसके वजह से उसे अनॉय हुआ होगा, बट उसके लिए वो केस नहीं कर सकता, बट उसे कॉम्पनसेशन ज़रूर मिलेगा. बट ही हैज़ राइट टू रिटेन द गुड्स. उस और कॉम्पनसेशन जब तक वो ट्रू ओनर नहीं देता, वो उसे रिटर्न करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है गुड्स को. मतलब अगर एक किसी की घड़ी मुझे मिली है, तो आई हैव टू सेफली कीप दैट वॉच, safely keep that watch, and I have to find the true owner. I have to find the true owner. So if I find the true owner, and so there are a lot of expenses, so I cannot sue the owner for annoying me, for troubling me to finding him. Okay, but I can retain that watch. If he's not paying compensation, he should pay compensation to me for all the expenses I have incurred. I can keep the watch with me until he gives me compensation. Now, if the owner is giving reward to some person who has found those goods, and where the owner has offered a specific reward on lost goods, the finder may sue the owner for such reward. Originally, he cannot sue, but if the owner gives an reward for such goods who has found it, for such person who has found the goods, then he can sue for such reward and may retain the goods until then. One more thing, when the finder of thing commonly on sale may sell it. See, when I found a goods, like I have found some goods, but I'm not able to find the owner. Okay, and when I'm not able to find the owner, what happens is the goods is deteriorating or something is happening to the goods, so I have to sell it. This is one case. Or I found the owner, and owner is saying, I will not pay you charges, I will not pay you the charges. Then I can retain the goods, right? I will not pay you compensation, I'll retain the goods. Now here, the thing is commonly on sale may sell it, which is generally sold. The finder may sell it. So, when can I sell it? When the thing is in danger of perishing or losing the greater part of its value. Like some vegetables or grains which are going to perish, or if I keep it just like that, it will lose its value, or the owner is not giving me the lawful charges. When the lawful charges of finder in respect of thing found amounts to 2/3 of its value, if I sell the goods, I'll receive 2/3 of its value, then I can sell the goods. So basically, if I'm finding a goods, I cannot sue the owner just because I got irritated, or I voluntarily incurred expenses, but I can sue him for the rewards. And if the goods are thing which can be commonly sold, then I can sell it if it is going to perish, or if the owner of the goods is not giving me the lawful charges which I have incurred, then I can sell the goods and recover my lawful charges if it covers 2/3 of the value. Right of lien. Lien is right of a person to retain the goods. I can retain the goods unless the payment is made, until his claim is satisfied. That is, until the payment is made, some debt due to him is repaid. That's what. When someone has to pay something to us and we have their goods, we can retain it until that person has paid to us. Lien may be of particular lien or general lien. For a particular loan, there is a particular goods or security, that is particular lien. But for particular loan, the goods are not there for that particular, but generally given as lien for some other loan, then it is called general lien. Particular, it is right to retain only particular goods in respect of which a claim is due. Where the bailee has, in accordance with the purpose of bailment, rendered any service involving the exercise of labor or skill in respect of goods bailed, he has, in the absence of contract to the contrary, a right to retain such goods until he receives due remuneration for the services he has rendered in respect of them. Suppose stitching. Stitching involves labor and skill, right? Labor and skill. So, he has done some stitching and he wants money for that. And if the bailer is not giving money, then bailee can do particular lien, that is, retain the goods until receives the remuneration for the services he has rendered. Now, A gives cloth to B, a tailor, to make into a coat. B is entitled to retain the coat until he is paid. In the above example, B takes 15 days time to make the coat. Right of lien will be applicable after 15 days. A delivers a rough diamond to B, a jeweler, to be cut and polished, which is accordingly done. B is entitled to retain the stone till he is paid for the services he has rendered. So he can retain the stone until the payment is made. This is called lien. General lien. It is right to retain the goods not only for the demand arising out of the goods retained but also for general balance of account. Here the keyword is general balance of account. General balance of account, which means it is not for that particular in favor of certain persons. It is not for that particular loan, that particular goods, but generally any goods for the general balance of account in the absence of contract to the contrary. Now this right is available for whom? Generally in bankers, factors, warfingers, policy brokers and attorneys of law. A borrow 500 from bank without security. So 500 के लिए कोई security नहीं है. And subsequently again 1000 but with security of certain jewelry. In this illustration, even where A has returned 1000, A is very smart. He has returned the 1000. He thought he will get the jewelry back, but he is not paying the 500. The bank can retain the jewelry for given as security for the second loan towards the first loan which is yet to be repaid. Now bank is telling, I will keep the jewelry because you have not repaid the first loan. Under the right of general lien, goods cannot be sold but can only be retained for dues. The right of lien can be waived through a contract. Difference between general lien and particular lien. Section 171 deals with general lien. Section 170 deals with particular lien. General lien is for general balance of account, but particular lien is for retaining specific goods for non-payment of the amount. Non-payment of a particular amount. A general lien is not automatic but is recognized through an agreement. There should be agreement for it, but it is automatic. Means if there is no agreement also we can retain the goods. See, for generally there is not required that there should be labor or skill, but for particular lien there should be some labor or skill resulting and for which some remuneration were pending. Only persons like bankers, factors, warfingers, policy brokers are entitled to general lien, and who is required for entitled to particular lien? Bailey, finder of goods, pledgee, unpaid seller, agent, partner are entitled to particular lien. Okay. Now what is pledge? Pledge is nothing but giving ornaments or some goods to the pawner and taking money from them. The pawner is to whom we have given the goods, and pawnee is who has given those goods and taken money. Goods is given like jewelry and money is taken. Goods are known to be pledged. Okay, the bailment of the goods as security for payment of a debt or performance of a promise is called pledge. The bailer in this case is the pawner and the bailee is called pawnee. A lends money to B against the security of jewelry deposited by B with him. The bailment of jewelry is a pledge as security for lending the money. B is a pawner pledger and A is a pawnee pledgee. Essentials of contract of pledge. Since pledge is a special kind of bailment, therefore all the essentials of bailment and also the essentials of the pledge. So essentials of bailment are also essentials of the pledge. Apart from that, the other essentials of pledge are. So essentials of bailment will be essentials of pledge. Apart from that, there shall be bailment for security against the payment for performance of the promise. The subject matter of pledge is goods. Goods pledged for shall be in existence. There shall be delivery of goods from the pledger to the pledgee. Rights of a pawnee or pledgee. Now rights of a pawnee or pledgee. Who is pawnee and pledgee? The person who has given the goods to the another person and taken the money. Okay. Sorry. Pawnee and pledgee is the person who has got the goods. Pawner is the person who has given the goods. Pawnee is the person who has taken the goods. The bailer is in this case is called the pawner. The bailee is in this case is pawnee. The bailer who is giving the goods is bailer, right? So Pawner will be the bailer who is giving the goods. Pawnee will be the bailee who is taking the goods. So rights of a pawnee or pledgee. Right to retain the pledge goods. If he is not paying the money, he can retain the pledge. The pawnee may retain the goods pledged not only for payment of debt or performance of the promise, but for interest also he can retain the goods and all necessary expenses incurred by him in respect of possession or preservation of the goods pledged. So for that also he can retain the goods, for interest also and for principal also. For what purpose he can retain the goods? For principal also and for interest also. Right to retention of subsequent debt. The pawnee can retain the goods pledged for any debt or promise other than the debt or promise for which they are pledged. I have pledged for loan 1. I have repaid loan 1, but I am not pledged anything for loan 2. I can use that goods for loan 2. Though I have not pledged anything, but he can exercise his right only when there is a contract to this effect. So this is like right of general lien. So there should be, it is not automatic, there should be a contract to this effect. Right to retain goods for subsequent debt can be exercised only when it has been provided in a contract to this effect. Pawnee's right to extraordinary expenses incurred. Now when the pawnee has incurred some extraordinary expenses, so he is entitled to receive it from the pawner for the preservation of the goods pledged. See, the pawnee is entitled to receive from the pawner extraordinary expenses incurred by him for the preservation of the goods pledged. For such expenses, however, he does not have right to retain the goods, but he can sue the pawner for such expenses. See, for principal, interest and necessary expenses, he can retain the goods. But for extraordinary expenses which he has incurred, he cannot retain the goods. Extraordinary expenses, he cannot retain the goods. Goods cannot be retained. But he can sue the pawner for such expenses. Pawnee's right where pawner makes default. If the pawner makes default, what he can do? He can sell the goods or not. If the pawner makes default in payment of the debt or performance at the stipulated time of the promise, in respect of which goods are pledged, the pawnee has the following rights. The pawnee may bring a suit. He can file a case against the pawner upon the debt or promise and retain the goods pledged as a collateral security, or may sell the goods. So what he can do? File a case, retain the goods as collateral security, or he may sell the goods on giving reasonable notice of the sale. He can only sell after giving reasonable notice to the pawner that he is going to sell the goods. If the proceeds are less, matlab we are giving loan of 1 lakh and we have sold and we got only 90,000, then we can recover 10,000 from the pawnee. But if the receipts are more, we got 1,20,000, then we have to return back the 20,000 to the pawnee. If the proceeds of such sale are less than the amount due in respect of the debt or the promise, the pawner is still liable to pay the balance. The pawner should pay the balance. If the proceeds of the sale are greater than the amount so due, the pawnee shall pay over the surplus to the pawner. Now we will see rights of a pawner. We have seen rights of a pawnee. Pawnee is one who is getting the goods. Pawner is one who has giving the goods. As bailer of the goods, the pawner has all rights of a bailer. So all the rights of a bailer. Bailer means who is giving the goods, no? He is entitled to what? He is entitled to demand the goods. He is entitled to terminate the bailment. He is entitled to claim compensation. All that is there. Along with that, he also has right to redemption to pledged goods, which is enumerated under section 177 of the Act. What is right to redeem? So your pawner is who has taken the payment and given the goods. He has taken payment and given the goods. Now he is making default. Now he is making what? Default in payment. So what the pawnee will do? Either he will lien or he will sell. So before selling, he should What he should do, he is supposed to make the payment. He should make good the default. The pawner makes default in payment of debt or performance of the promise at stipulated time. He may redeem. He may redeem the goods pledged at a subsequent time before the actual sale of them. He may redeem now, he can make the payment, but he must in case pay in addition any expenses which have arisen from his default. That is extra interest or extra charges which are incurred to keep the goods. No, he has to pay extra that also. Redemption means to recover back the goods by making the payment of debt or performance of the promise. Duties of a pawnee. Now pawnee is the one who has taken the goods. What are his duties? Take reasonable care of goods. Do not make unauthorized use of goods. Return the goods when the debt is repaid. Do not mix with his own goods. Do not act in a manner inconsistent with the terms of the pledge. Duty to return accretion of the goods. Cow and calf example. Duties of a pawner. Pawner is liable to pay the debt. Pay it. It is duty of the pawner to compensate the pawnee for extraordinary expenses incurred by him for preserving the goods pawned. It is duty of the pawner to disclose why only extraordinary expenses, because this is non-gratuitous bailment. It is duty of the pawner to disclose all the faults which may be put to the pawnee. So pawner has to disclose all the faults. Make known on the fault. If loss occurs to the pawnee due to effect of pawner's title of goods, the pawner must indemnify the pawnee. Like a bail or bailee indemnify, the pawner should indemnify the pawnee for defective title of goods, if any. If the pawnee sells the goods due to default by the pawner must pay the deficit. Pledge by non-owners. See, pledge should be done by whom? Pledge should be done by owner of the goods only. Sometimes there are exceptions, and those exceptions means there can be cases where the pledge can be treated as bona fide. Okay. Now pledge by mercantile agent. Mercantile agent who is in the possession of the goods or document of title with the consent of the owner. So with the consent of the owner, he has the document of title and has the possession of the goods. Can pledge them while acting in the ordinary course of business as a mercantile agent. So in the ordinary course of his business, he can pledge the goods, and such pledge is valid as if they were made with the authority of the owner of the goods. Provided pawnee doesn't know all these things, he acted in good faith and no notice the pawner has no authority to pledge. That means I acted in good faith. I didn't know that you are not the owner. Pawnee, if I am the pawnee and the pawner has pledged, and the pawner who is pledging is not the owner of the goods, but I don't know that, I acted in good faith, then the pledge is bona fide. Now who is mercantile agent? It's like a broker. Okay. Pledge by person in possession under voidable contract. Okay. See, sometimes it is the contract, sometimes the bailee, what he does is, sometimes the pawnee, okay, not pawnee, the pawner, what he does is he gets the goods on the basis of coercion, fraud, misrepresentation and undue influence. Okay, the pawnee gets the goods through this, and after getting goods through this, it becomes voidable in the hands of the owner, right? Okay. Now after doing all the coercion, he is pledging the goods to the pawner. To the pawnee. 1 second. See, when the pawner has obtained possession of the goods pledged by him under a contract voidable under section 19 or 19A, that is through coercion, undue influence, misrepresentation and fraud. Fraud, coercion, misrepresentation and undue influence. But the contract has not been rescinded at the time of the pledge. The pawnee acquires a good title to the goods, provided he acts in good faith and without notice of the pawner's defect of title. So now ऐसे होता है ना कि किसी ने चोरी करके या किसी ने किसी को बंदूक दिखाकर कुछ माल लेके आके हमारे पास गिरवी रख दिए हैं. But we didn't know all these things, and the contract is not resigned also. But we don't know all these things, and we are acting in a good faith. Then it is a good title. Good title. Pawnee acquires a good title to the goods. He is not acquiring. It is bona fide title. Pledge where pawn has a limited interest. Okay. See, suppose where a person pledges goods in which he has limited interest only, then that is the pawn is not absolute owner. The pledge is valid only to the extent of that interest. See, for this we will see this example. A pledges his jewelry worth 1 lakh with B for an advance of 70,000. B pledges the same for 90,000 with C. B is owner. B is not the owner. A gave it to B under pledge. B is giving to C under pledge. So this pledge is valid only up to 70,000 plus interest thereon. So he is interested only to the extent of 70,000 because the first pledge, how much A gives to B? 70,000. Mr. X finds defective mobile phone lying on the road. He picks it up and gets it repaired for 5,000. He later pledges the mobile phone for 2,000. The true owner can recover the mobile phone only on paying 5,000. Pledge by co-owner in possession. Okay. If there are many co-owners like A, B, C, any of the co-owners who has the possession can go and pledge the goods. Pledge by seller or buyer in possession. See, suppose immediately before buy or immediately before the sell, a seller in whose possession the goods have been left after sale. See, sale has happened, but goods are with the seller only. Sale has happened, the goods should be with the buyer, but it is with the seller only. But seller pledges those goods. Okay, a seller in whose possession the goods have been left after sale, or a buyer who, with the consent of the seller, obtains possession of the goods before sale. Before the sale, actual sale has not happened, but he has got the goods before sale. Okay, seller sold the goods and keeps with him. This is one case. Buyer doesn't buy the goods yet. Doesn't buy the goods yet, but keeps with him. Is he the original owner? Is he the original owner? No. But they are pledging, and the pawnee acted in good faith. It will create a valid pledge. Good faith, na? He had faith that he is the true owner and no knowledge of the defect in the title of the pawner. A buys a cycle from B but leaves the cycle with the seller. A has bought the cycle but he leaves with B. Then B pledges the goods to C, who does not know the sale to A. Acted in good faith. This is a valid pledge. Now, distinction between bailment and pledge. Bailment is transfer of goods for some specific purpose. Okay. Pledge is for transfer of goods as security for repayment of debt is known as pledge. Parties. The parties are bailer and bailee. The parties are pawner and pawnee. Purpose. Purpose of the bailment is to do some contract of bailment like stitching or safe custody or repairs or some processing of goods. But pledge is as purpose is to give the goods as security for the payment of debt or performance or promise. It is given as security. Consideration. It can be with or without consideration. It is always with consideration. It is always non-gratuitous bailment. The bailee has no right to sell the goods. Your pawnee has right to sell the goods. The bailee's rights are limited to suing the bailer for his dues or exercise lien. They have only right to lien, no right to sell the goods. Right to use of goods. Bailee can use the goods only for a purpose specified. So they can use the goods, like use the goods to stitch, no? For which purpose they have used, they can use the goods for that purpose. Pledgee and pawnee cannot use the goods pledged. So this is with regards to chapter of bailer and pledge, bailment and pledge. Now we are going to do to MCQ. MCQ. Bailment means temporary delivery of goods, permanent delivery of goods, partly delivery of goods, none. It is temporary delivery of goods, which is not essential element of contract of bailment. Doing contract, purchase of goods, delivery of goods, return of goods in specific time. So purchase of goods is not an essential in contract of bailment. There is no purchase, there is only change of possession, contract and return of goods. In contract of bailment, the person to whom goods is delivered is called bailee. Seller, bailee, bailer, agent, bailee. Bailee should carry the goods as per a man of ordinary prudence, as owner, as principal, as a servant. As a man of ordinary prudence. Lien means to retain goods in his possession. Right to sell the goods, right to purchase the goods, right to destroy the goods. Right to retain the goods in his possession. Sixth, in case there are two or more joint owners of the goods, the bailee has to deliver them back to any of the joint owners in the absence of any agreement to the contrary. Back to any of the joint owners, such joint owner for which all joint owners have consented, all the joint owners collectively, none of these. So it is any of the joint owners. A finder of goods is subject to same responsibility as that of a bailee, bailer, surety, purchaser. Bailee, the finder of goods has same responsibility as that of a bailee. The bailment of goods as security for payment of a debt is called pledge, bailment, mortgage, none of these. Pledge, which is an essential element of a valid pledge. Delivery of goods, delivery of bills, price, none of these. So what is essential element of valid pledge? Delivery of goods. Pledge is a contract of bailment, agency, guarantee, mortgage. It's a contract of bailment. Okay. State the essential elements of a contract of bailment. So what is essential elements of contract of a bailment? There should be delivery of goods, bailment, there should be a contract, return of goods, ownership of goods, property must be movable. What is essential elements of contract of bailment? There should be a contract, there should be delivery of goods, and property must be movable. Movable, it cannot be immovable goods. It cannot be for immovable goods. This point you need to remember. Okay. And the purpose can be expressed or implied. Possession, there should be transfer in the possession of the goods, and there should be return of the goods after the specific purpose has been completed. So these are essential elements of a bailment. Give the differences between bailment and pledge. We have already discussed. Examine whether following constitute a contract of bailment under the provisions of Indian Contract Act 1872. V parks his car at a parking lot, locks it and keeps the keys with himself. This is not bailment, this is just a custody. Seizure of goods by custom authorities. Seizure of goods, custom authority takes those goods. So this is called bailment. This is not custody. So for bailment to exist, there must be possession of the goods, and bailey must accept it. There need not be any transfer in ownership of the goods. A A hires a carriage from B and agrees to pay 500 as hire charges. So this is a gratuitous bailment. Okay. The carriage is unsafe though B is unaware of it. So this is non-gratuitous payment. I'm very sorry. Non-gratuitous payment. The carriage is unsafe. So he says, aware or not aware of it, B should pay the compensation. A is injured and claims compensation for injuries suffered by him. B refuses pay. Discuss the liability. This is case of non-gratuitous bailment, whether as per the provisions, whether the bailey bailer is aware or not of the existence of the fault, he should make good the injury suffered by the bailey. Now A bails his jewelry with B on condition to safeguard in its bank safe locker. However, B kept it in safe locker at his residence, where he usually keeps his own jewelry. After a month, all jewelry was lost in a religious riot. A filed a suit against B for recovery, referring to the provisions of the Indian contract state whether A will succeed. Now, what A has told, he has not taken due diligence. B has not taken due care. See, it's the duty of the bailey to take due care as if he were the owner. Now, why we are saying he has not taken due care? Because he has not following the instruction which the bailor has given. The bailey in absence of is not responsible for. Yes, because the bailor has told to keep it in the bank locker, but he has not taken the reasonable care and he has kept in his own residence. Thus, B is liable to compensate A for his negligence to keep the jewelry at his B's residence. Sixth, R gives his umbrella to M during rainy season to be used for 2 days during examinations. M keeps the umbrella for a week. While going to R's house to return the umbrella, M accidentally slips and umbrella is badly damaged. Who bear the loss and why? See, there is R has given umbrella only for a specified period, but M has taken it for more than that specified period. So after that specified period, whatever damage is done, it should be borne by whom? M only. M shall have to bear the loss since he has failed to return the umbrella within specified time. And section 161 clearly says that where a bailey fails to return the goods within agreed time, he shall be responsible to the bailiff for any loss, destruction or deterioration of the goods from that time, notwithstanding the exercise of reasonable care on his part. Amar bailed 50 kg of high quality sugar to Srijit, who owned a kirana shop, promising to give 200 at time of taking back the bail goods. Srijit's employee, unaware of this, mixed the 50 kg of sugar belonging to Amar with the sugar in the shop and packed it for sale when Srijit was away. This came to light only when Amar came to asking for sugar he had bailed with Srijit. As per the price of the specific quality of sugar had trebled. What is the remedy available to Amar? Now, this is the goods where it is inseparable. Sugar cannot be separated. It is mixed with the goods and without the consent. So now Amar will be liable for claiming all the damages. According to section 157 of the Indian Contract Act, if the bailey without the consent of the bailiff mixes the goods of the bailiff with his own goods in such manner that it is impossible to separate the goods bailed from other goods and deliver them back, the bailey is entitled to be compensated by the bail. The bailor is entitled to be compensated by the bailey for the loss of the goods. In the given question, Srijit's employee mixed high quality sugar bailment by Amar and packed it for sale. The sugar when mixed cannot be separated. We have to disclose the fact that sugar cannot be separated. As Shiji's employees mixed two kinds of sugar, he must compensate Amar for the loss of his sugar. Mrs. A delivered her old jewelry to Mr. A goldsmith, for the purpose of making a new silver ball out of it. Every evening she used to receive the unfinished good silver ball to put it into the box kept at Mr. Y's shop. She kept the key of that box with herself. One night the silver ball was stolen from that box. Was there a contract of bailment? Whether the possession of the goods, actual or constructive, delivered constitute a contract of bailment or not. See, the key was always kept with herself. There was possession with her only, always. Okay, so there was constructive delivery. She got it again every night. So this is not a contract of bailment. We will check the answer. Section 148 of Indian Contract Act defines bailment as the delivery of goods by one person to another for some purpose upon a contract that they shall, when the purpose is accomplished, be returned or otherwise disposed of according to the direction of the person delivering them. So they are saying what is bailment. According to 149, the delivery to the bailee may be by doing anything which has the effect of putting the goods in the possession of the intended bailee or of the person authorized to hold them on his behalf. Thus, the delivery is necessary to constitute payment. Thus, the mere keeping of the box at Y's shop, when A herself took away the key, cannot amount to delivery as per the meaning of delivery given in the provision. Therefore, in this case, there is no contract of bailment, as Mrs. A did not deliver the complete possession of the goods by keeping the key with herself. So, she has taken back the delivery. She has not given the possession of the goods. So, this is not a contract of bailment. Srushti acquired valuable diamond. Please do this again. Srushti acquired valuable diamond at a very low price by a voidable contract under the provisions of Indian Contract Act. The voidable contract was not rescinded. Srushti pledged the diamond with Mr. VK. Is this a valid pledge under Indian Contract Act? Yes, if VK has acted in good faith. Pledged by person in possession under voidable contract. When the pawner has obtained possession of the goods pledged by him under a voidable contract, but the contract has not been rescinded at the time of pledge, the pawnee acquires the good title of the goods, provided he acts in a good faith and without the notice of pawner's defect of title. Therefore, the pledge of diamond by Srushti with Mr. VK is valid. So, with this, we have completed this chapter.